Hello and welcome to another educational video brought to you by Physio Fitness in Maidenhead, and this one is on the knee joint. So if we have a look at the model of the knee joint now, we'll look at the bones that make up the knee to start with. We have the femur or the thigh bone here that comes down into the knee joint. Then we have the shin bone here. This is the tibia. This is the front of the tibia here. This is the inside edge of the tibia, and this is the outside edge of the tibia. If we look at the outside part of the knee, so this is the outside, you have a small bone that comes down here. This small bone is called the fibula. So you have the fibula, the tibia, and femur. The femur is the largest bone in the body, and that's it there. We also have a kneecap. So this kneecap in here, the patella, is like a little stone, and it sits within the tendon of the thigh muscle. So this is your thigh muscle here, comes down, it's your quadriceps muscle. This is the front of the knee. The quadriceps muscle comes down here, forms the quadriceps tendon and runs down into the patella tendon, which is here, and this goes down into the front of the shin. Now, the patella tendon and the quadriceps tendon have this kneecap that sits within it, and the job of the kneecap is to stop the tendon from fraying when we bend our knee and straighten our knee. So it acts like a pivot point around the knee when we bend and straighten it, which is quite useful, otherwise the tendon would fray and eventually snap. So the kneecap is like a stone. It's a floating bone. It has the ability to move around all over the place. And to stop it moving around all over the place, on the end of the thigh bone, on the end of your femur, you have a little groove here. You can see this groove, okay? And the groove is a shape that fits the back of the kneecap. So they sit nicely into one another, and as you bend and straighten the kneecap sits in that groove. So you might be thinking what this blue structure is at the front of the knee. So this blue structure is the meniscus. So this is the medial meniscus, or the inner part of the knee meniscus, and this is the outer or lateral meniscus. If we turn the knee to the back, you can see here, this is the back of the knee. As we bend and straighten the knee, this is what happens. Your thigh bone has two little knuckles on it, and those knuckles sit on top of the medial meniscus and the lateral meniscus. The job of the meniscus is to firstly hold the femur in place to stop it shifting around and moving, and it's also to act like a shock absorber to stop impact when we run. So as we run, the thigh bone and the shin move closer together, and these two structures act like shock absorbers. So what they also do is they act as a friction reducing surface. So they are horseshoe shaped pieces of cartilage on the inside edge and on the outside edge. So at the back of the knee here, we have the posterior cruciate ligament. So now we're going to talk about these ligaments. So this is the first one we'll talk about, the posterior cruciate ligament, and the job of the posterior cruciate ligament is to stop movement of the thigh bone moving anteriorly, so moving forwards. So it stops the thigh bone moving forwards or the shin bone moving backwards. And it's like a tension band. It goes from the back of the tibia up into the back of the femur. So if we look at it from the front now, and we look at the other cruciate ligament, the anterior cruciate ligament, which is deep inside the knee, and it's difficult to see there, but it's right inside there. And the job of the anterior cruciate ligament is to stop the opposite movement. So it stops the shin bone moving forwards. So any damage to the posterior cruciate ligament or the anterior cruciate ligament means that the knee will have a potential to move too far forwards or too far backwards. So those ligaments, those cross-shaped or cruciate ligaments, are very important for the stability of the knee joint. So to add extra stability to the knee joint, we have a medial ligament on the inside of the knee here and a lateral ligament on the outside of the knee. So if I look at it, that's looking from the back. If I turn the knee round now and we look at it from the front, we have this lateral ligament that comes around the outside there, and then we have the medial ligament, or MCL, that's on the inside there. This MCL is a really thick, powerful structure. You can see how thick it is there. And the lateral ligament is slightly less powerful, but it also has a significant role. The lateral ligament joins from the bottom of the femur onto the top of the fibula, as you can see there. The medial ligament joins from the femur down onto the tibia. And that is the bony and ligamentous anatomy of the knee. I hope you found that helpful. If you have any questions, please post in the comment box below.